It's a pleasure to welcome you all, and I'd like to start, of course, by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land upon which we meet today, and that's the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and I pay my personal respects to their elders past and present. I'd also like to acknowledge our distinguished guests here today, Helen Clark, the head of the United Nations Development Program and former Prime Minister of New Zealand, Mary O'Kane, a close friend and colleague and New South Wales Chief Scientist and Scientific Engineer. Welcome, Mary. And also, of course, what brings us here today, Professor Joe Camilleri and Emeritus Professor Jim Falk. And, of course, today is the culmination of a lot of hard work on their behalf. And I know that they're very much looking forward to the launching by Helen of their great publication. Of course, from UTS's point of view, we have sustainability very much to the fore. Of course, you can't walk into the university without seeing the great recognition of think, can, do. And of course, in the whole concept of sustainability, and I'm sure threaded through the whole book, is that no matter how many pages we write, and no matter how much we think about it, the whole aspect is the can and the do. And I know that's very much at heart. But of course, at our university, we too are trying to make our mark in the way in which we organise ourselves and undertake research collaboration. And I think the major master planning on our campus really has provided us with a great backdrop in UTS, a young university, a vibrant university, one that is embedded within the major capital city of Australia, with the whole concept of sustainability foremost in our minds and the minds of people who live and visit us. And our new Nexus laboratory that brings together the facility that will house UTS, the Institute of Sustainable Futures, the Plant Functional Biology and Climate Change Cluster, or C3 as we know it, the Institute of Biotechnological of Infectious Diseases, and the Centre for Local Government. All of those things we've brought together now as a dynamic way in which we can add our contribution through our research effort to this broad base of sustainability. That, of course, is underpinned by our core disciplines across the university and the very vibrant university we are in the way in which we interact with the community at large and business sector in particular. Of course, the second thing that we're very proud of is the way in which we collaborate, and the internal-external collaboration is essential in our quest for a sustainability of tomorrow. And in that context, we're extremely pleased to welcome our esteemed colleagues from Melbourne and congratulate them on their work. And events such as this provide UTS with the opportunity to actually recognise their personal contribution to governance and sustainability in the world events, but also it forges that continual relationship between universities. Irrespective of where we are, not just in the nation or indeed in the jurisdiction or the state, but across the globe, if we are to advance the concepts of sustainability and social well-being and advancement of the economy generally, what we need to do is to reach out and make sure that we have the collaborative efforts. In many respects, I guess, competition's a great thing, but co-opetition is even better. And I think UTS is one that prides itself in hopefully trying to continually recognise that it's got a niche market to play, it's got a value-added contribution, and our goal is to make sure that we deal and link not just with business but with our colleagues in the academic arena across the nation and across the globe. Finally, of course, sustainability is a global challenge, and indeed it's on behalf of all of us, it's my great honour and pleasure to welcome Helen Clark. Of course, we would all know Helen from across the ditch. And from my rugby playing days, I'll excuse her for being a great supporter of the All Blacks. But from the concept of where Helen sees her role today as heading the United Nations Development Program, it is truly right in the engine room of trying to make a difference across the world. And when the head of the United Nations Development Program agrees to deliver the keynote address at a book launch, you know that the work is both important and relevant given the global challenges of the day. And nowhere has that been driven home than the events that have occurred, of course, in the great earthquakes that we've seen in the last few weeks. Worlds in Tradition is a multifaceted examination of the sustainability through the lens of contemporary human governance. And it's important, it's relevant, and it's timely. So on behalf of everyone here, congratulations, Joe and Jim. I can see both a great sense of relief on your foreheads, as well as that great sense of accomplishment. I've no doubt that our next speaker, who will appreciate the work that you've done in this regard, and who I work very closely with, Professor Mary O'Kane, of course, who in her own right has a distinguished career that spans science, academia, engineering, policy development and business. And in her present role as New South Wales Chief Scientist and Scientific Engineer is very much to the forefront of pulling together the various threads that bring us here today. So it's my pleasure to ask Mary to come forward and say a few words.
It's my pleasant